Skål. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is feeling awesome today. Today I have a video for you guys, and a video that I have been looking forward to very much making for you guys. This is exciting. I know I say this a lot, but this one is I'm really excited about this. It's a beer review, and the 2019 version of this beer was the best beer that I tasted all last year, and is probably one of the 2 or 3 best beers that I've ever tasted, ever. So a really good beer. If you watch my videos, you know which one I'm talking about. If you can remember anyway. It is a Danish brewery called Fanø Brewery, and it is of course the Red Wedding I'm talking about. This one is the Red Wedding 2020. They started making these in 2018. I actually thought they started making these last year, but I was mistaken. I'm still looking for a 2018 version of this. Very difficult to come by. Even the 2020 is difficult. The 2019 is even more difficult, and apparently the 2018 is almost impossible. It's an Imperial Stout, and it's a red wine barrel aged Imperial Stout. It has aged for at least a year in red wine barrels. It's 50 centiliters, and it cost around 70 Danish crowns. So that's like £7, maybe $10 for half a liter. Quite an expensive beer. If this one is any way near as good as the 2019 version, it is worth every penny. So we're gonna of course look into this. It's 12.2% alcohol, very high. If I remember correctly, the 2019 version was 11.4 or something like that. So this one is a little bit stronger. In this is there's a whole list of what's in this, so I really like that. You can actually see what kind of hops, malts, and that kind of stuff with some. So I'm just gonna read this. In the ingredients, it says water, malt, hops, yeast, dextrose, lactose, and coffee. Yeah. So the malts are pale malt, munich malt, abbey malt, roasted barley, brown malt, and chocolate malt. The hops is Hercules, and so adjuncts, I guess that's kind of what's stuff that's added, and that's coffee, lactose, and dextrose. Yeah, and then there's a little bit. There's actually also what kind of yeasts they use for this, and this, I have no idea what this means, but it's WLP001. Yeah. I'm guessing that it's made in the same way as the 2019, and that's what I can read. There's not a lot about this, and very few people have made reviews about this because it's so hard to find, and it's quite expensive also. But I'm thinking it's kind of the same beer. It's brewed the same way, but it's just a little bit stronger on the ABV. And then, of course, it's aged in red wine barrels, which of course will make it a little bit different than the other. Well, just because the barrels are never the same, so. The smell, even just opening it, I can already smell coffee, malt, chocolate. I can actually smell the red wine. Wow. There's no sponsored content in this video, and as always, everything on this channel is just my opinion. Damn. It's just completely black, almost, with kind of a red and purple glow to it just at the top. As you can see, there's almost no foam there. Very, very. And that there's a little bit of foam, and the foam that's there is just actually dark brown. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, wow. It's so heavy. It's so powerful, and it's so much. There's just so much here. There's coffee, there's chocolate, there's red wine, there's a little bit of vanilla, there's a lot of different kinds of malt. Actually, a little bit of licorice and a little bit of you can actually almost sense the actual wood from the red wine barrel. Man, it's good. It's just absolutely incredible. I remember, if I remember correctly, the 2019 version, even though there was so much power and so much, it was so heavy and all of that, it also had a lightness about it. This one doesn't. It's just like being hit by a truck of flavors, and of course it's very strong alcohol wise, but you actually don't feel it because the flavors are just overpower all of that. Sometimes when you drink a medium strong beer, the alcohol is the dominant part and the flavors is kind of in the background. This is just completely opposite. The flavors are in charge here, and you can kind of sense that it's strong on the alcohol, but other than that, you don't notice it actually because of all of these flavors. There's no sharpness, there's no strong alcohol at all. It's just, as I said, flavors. And it's really hard actually to describe the flavors. So the palate has a lot of malt. There's a lot of sweetness there. There's actually also a little bit of bitter hops, but only just a little bit. It's more like a freshness from that hops. There's some bitter licorice. There's some bitter chocolates. There's some bitter coffee. And red wine, you can actually, that's the finish. And then there's just a lot of sweetness. That's the palate. The finish is even more powerful than the palate. And at first, you have some sweetness from the malt, a little bit of bitter licorice, a little bit of bitter chocolate and coffee. And then you have the red wine, you have some vanilla, and then there's bitterness again. Not hops bitterness, licorice, coffee, and chocolate bitterness, and actually a sense of the actual barrel, the actual wood that it's been aged in. If I remember correctly, there was more red wine notes in the 2019 and not as much bitterness. I'm not sure. That's how I remember it. Other than that, it's how I remember the other one. It is so good, and I can't give this anything other than a... So the glass is actually here on my table, and there's not as much left as there were before. So, and in this light, there's actually a lot of redness in the color. That's really weird. Some of it, like, you know, the places where there's not, at the edges where there's only a little bit, it almost looks like a very dark red wine, almost. It's a beautiful, beautiful beer, and some say that the label got a good kind of graphic upgrade because they thought that the 2019 was boring. I actually thought that the 2019 is a lot better than this. I don't like these kind of drawings on beer labels. That's just me. I like to keep it simple and in earthly colors. That woman is just... Well, I thought the other one was better. Not that this one is bad, but yeah. So, but I can't give this beer anything other than a 10, a big 10. Like the 2019 version. My expectations was sky high opening up this beer, and still it's just amazing. So a 10 for the Red Wedding 2020 from Fanø Brewery. Yeah, that's it for the video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to share it with friends and family. Also, comment down below. I will respond to all comments. And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe and make sure to hit that bell button. And go down to notificate on all. If you're on phone, go into your settings on the phone and turn on notifications from YouTube to make sure you don't miss out on future videos. Also, check out my Instagram account. It is Dunkeren_. If you like what you see there, give me a follow. That would really mean a lot to me as well. If you want to know the next couple of videos, check out my Instagram tomorrow. There will be a story there. And yeah, that's it for the video today. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay strong out there. Bye-bye.